that kind of stuff does annoy me a little bit. And I mean, if you look at the biggest technological advancement in the next decade and you seriously can't make any money in it, then that's on you. That's why I have a shaved head, and I don't know when I'll grow it out again, but for now it's good for me. AAA is a scam, lol. Yeah, I mean, what's going on everyone? Today I'm doing my first ever YouTube Q&A here in Thailand. I'm out here with my entire team for the next month, and I thought I've had a number of requests to do something like this where I get a little bit more personal. I don't really tell too much about who I am and my personal life and my story really, so I thought I'd answer a few of your questions from my Instagram story. If you're not already following me on Instagram and want to see the kind of things I get up to, a little bit more personal, my friends and the business that we're doing, you can follow me on Instagram. It'll be in the description, or just search me up, Liam Ottley. I'm sure you're going to be able to find me. But I'm going to be doing a lot more interactions, sharing the results from my Accelerator community, talking to people in my community a lot more via Q&As, etc. If you want to be tapped into all of that and not miss anything I'm doing, be sure to follow me on Instagram in the description. Daddy's money, laughing face, laughing face. Kind of want to address this now because I think I might give that kind of vibe away that I'm like daddy's money, like private school kid. But no, I come from a low income family. My mum and dad were never really together. And then when I was 9, they broke up. So my family's always been split. My mum's a receptionist and my dad's a farmer. We didn't have money. I had all the things I needed. I had a great family and a great upbringing, but we never had money. They weren't throwing me hundreds of dollars a week in allowance. I was living at a boarding school for 9 years of my life, and the boarding school was full of poor kids. So the only way that myself and my brother got into the boarding school and sort of changed our life from there was by being poor, because the scholarship's based on a lack of money in the family and also split parents or dead parents and stuff like this. So just to dispel the daddy's money thing, I know I might dress in a way that might radiate those vibes now, but I definitely wasn't always like this. I didn't always have a gold chain and a nice haircut. This is a sort of recent occurrence for me, and I'm probably very, very similar to many of you watching this video in terms of how I grew up and my background. Background before AAA. Yes, I think some of you are familiar with my story. I started off, as soon as I left high school, I moved to Scotland and I did a gap year there where I taught myself I got a Tai Lopez course of all things. And it's funny how many people in this space now that I meet who got their start in this game through Tai Lopez's course. So I bought his course when I finished high school, started trying to drop ship for the entire year that I was living overseas in Scotland, lost all my money, failed over and over and over again. But then fortunately I met my mentor, who's now my business partner, and using his method, I was able to start making a lot of money with e-commerce, and that really taught me marketing, and I was able to roll that into working and becoming a minority partner with him on his marketing agency as well. So myself, my business partner and mentor, we were able to run up his marketing agency from there. Then once I was happy with the position that I was in and my sort of marketing skill set, I decided to take a bit of a hiatus from the marketing work strictly and teach myself to code, because I've read Naval Ravikant's Almanac. If you haven't read it, great book. Anyone looking to get started in entrepreneurship or just wanting to live a happy and fulfilling life, definitely check out the Almanac of Naval Ravikant. But I believe in there was where I heard the phrase, if you learn to sell and learn to build, you'll be unstoppable. And I was like, this guy's smart. If I'm going to listen to anyone, I should probably listen to him. And I already had the marketing side of things figured out. I was like, I'm pretty sure I know how to sell things now based on my experience. Why don't I circle back to something that I'd done in high school, which was building apps, doing Swift mobile apps for iPhone. And I was like, I really enjoyed that. I think I can come back to it. So I taught myself to code over the next 2 years, sort of 18 months. And with that, I was able to get into large language models and start using things like BERT to do like classification and sentiment analysis. And when I learned those things, we're able to actually start selling those kind of sentiment analysis services to our agency clients, so the marketing agency. And from there, when ChatGPT came out and sort of blew the whole industry open, I was actually like perfectly positioned. I had the marketing skill set, I had my business partner in our company there, but I had this new skill set of being able to code, machine learning, everything, and I was just able to take that opportunity and run with it, and sort of the rest is history. So drop shipping, e-commerce, then marketing agency, my business partner, and more recently taught myself to code, became a self-taught developer, and happened to be perfectly positioned to jump on this opportunity when it came. So that's my background before I created the AI automation agency model. How did the AAA model change your life? I think firstly, it's changed my life on the business side of things. When we were running Morningside as strictly a development company, doing custom projects, it was quite repetitive. There was a lot of calls and admin that was really, really tiring and wore me down. By being able to transition over to an automation agency model and being able to streamline a lot of processes and simplify what we're delivering down, that did a huge thing for me in terms of me being able to relax as a business owner, not having to worry about it, getting some more replicability and sort of reusability in the things we're building. So on the business side of things, it definitely made things a lot more straightforward for me. Also being able to tap into this massive pool of smaller businesses who wanted to work with us, but we couldn't do before. So I'd say that's one thing on the business side. But on the more personal side, the AAA model has really done the most for me in terms of me sharing it here on YouTube and being able to connect with so many amazing people. It's been a new experience for me. I was never planning to be a YouTuber. I never wanted to be. I thought it was a stupid thing to be doing and I'd never be successful at it. But to my surprise, we grew from 0 to 90,000 subscribers in under 8 months, which was mind-boggling to me. And with that came the ability to meet a wide array of new people from different industries, different backgrounds. And that really has been the biggest thing that's changed about my life, is being able to connect with other people and just making a broader group of friends across the world. So I'd say that is a really significant part. And the rewarding side of being able to teach people and say that these people are getting results, they're making money with this business model that I created, is a very, very interesting experience for me and something that I'm really, really eager to pursue more, if you couldn't already tell. When are you reopening your AAA Accelerator? Yeah, so we are reopening that within the next week or two. As I said, we're only letting in 150 people initially, and those spots were gone in 2 minutes. Fortunately, we've had that packed out. We've been getting really, really good reviews and responses from people. So I'm now happy to open the accelerator up to a large group of people. I think we'll take on another couple hundred people, but we are going to be having to cap the number of people in there, just so we can really make sure we've scaled up our systems. But important thing to note is that the price will actually be going up this time around, just because we've added so much value. And I think this is going to be a trend moving forward with the accelerator, as we get better and better coaches in there and we get better and better workshops as well. I mean, we have Alex from Aussie coming in to do a talk with my accelerator. We also have the founder of Instantly coming in a few weeks, who's a friend of mine, to do a workshop on cold email. So this is the kind of value that we're packing in. So the price has had to increase. But the key thing I'll mention is that the people who got in for $59 a month are being able to lock in at that rate and get all of the benefits of our $200 a month plan, but they're locked in at $60. So if you want to lock in and get the best price possible, because we're going to continue to increase it most likely as we add more value, then you probably want to get in on this batch and sort of secure your price point there, because we're not going to expect you to pay more. But if you're locked into that price, then you'll have that secured for as long as your membership lasts. Sacrifices for your current life. This is an interesting one. Now, this idea of sacrifices to me seems a little bit ridiculous given my current life and the privileged life I live. I'm grateful for it every single day. In my notebook I write, I'm grateful for this incredible life that I get to live. It still blows my mind every day that I get to do the exact thing that I dreamed of, which is working with people that I love on things that I love working with, wherever I want, on my own schedule. This was the dream for me, and I've been living my dream for the past 3 years now. So I think for someone in my position to be talking about sacrifices is a bit ridiculous, really. Yes, I never see my family. I see them sort of once a year. I go back to New Zealand for Christmas and maybe a month, and then I travel and I'm overseas the rest of the year. So that's probably the biggest sacrifice, is not being able to be around my family as much. But I think in the next few years, I'll have the time and sort of the resources to be able to not necessarily be bound to one area as much. You could say that I sacrificed my early 20s to be in the position I am now, while everyone was at university having a great time, drinking, smoking, doing whatever they want to do. I was in my room working nonstop. I was living overseas and sort of in a grungy little apartment, just trying to get things going. And that was for 2 or 3 years, really. So I always saw people having fun, having the greatest time at uni. And I went to uni in New Zealand for 6 months, and I had scholarships thrown at me from everyone. I gave all those scholarships up to go and do this thing that I'm doing now. So that was definitely a sacrifice, just sort of throwing all of the scholarship money that I've been given in the bin and going to chase this crazy dream of mine to be able to work and live on my own. So when it comes to sacrifices, yeah, there definitely are some, but the benefits definitely outweigh that. And I definitely don't look at them as like some massive thing I had to give up, because I live such a blessed life now. Toughest part of your journey. Toughest part of my journey was definitely the start. I think for all of you who are just starting out on this journey as well, this is the toughest part for you. When you have no skills, you're just completely disorientated. You have no understanding of business, no understanding of how the world works, especially if you're 18 like I was at the time. I was living in this crusty little flat in Edinburgh, and from there, out of that room, I can put some pictures up on screen of like what I had on my walls and the kind of stuff I was doing to motivate myself. I actually have my mentor, and who's now my business partner, stuck up on my walls. Before I'd even met him, I had him stuck up on my wall with his name and then how old he was and the stuff he was doing. I had this little tiny bedroom, and I was doing all of my work out of there. I would be getting up at 5:30, starting my work on my dropshipping stores, and doing that until I had to go to work at about 8:30, going to work, coming back at about 3:30, going to the gym, and then from the gym, I just go straight into working again and work until 11 or 12 at night. So that's definitely the longest hours I've ever had to put in, just trying to squeeze it in around a normal job. So that was definitely the toughest one, and it's so cold and dark in Scotland. I mean, I love Edinburgh to bits, but this was definitely the hardest part, when you're just this little kid who has no clue what he's doing, and you feel like no one's there to help you either. You're just completely alone. So the toughest part for me was definitely that first year where I spent all of my time doing it and lost all of my money and didn't make a dime in profit. So that's how it started out for me. Why AI automation agencies? Fair question to ask. I think with so many different opportunities in the online business space right now, it's a good question to ask before you jump into anything like this, but I've said it time and time again. I am so big on this opportunity, and the reason I created the model in the first place was because there's always an opportunity to facilitate the uptake and the adoption of new technology, and AI is going to be one of the biggest technologies in the next decade. Historically, there's always been an enormous opportunity to make money when new technology comes about, and if you can facilitate the adoption of the new technology and integration of it into businesses, then you stand to make a lot of money. So that's the entire premise that the AI automation agency model is built on. It's just that there's this new technology, businesses are going to want to integrate it to get a competitive advantage. You can help them get that advantage by creating services or packages of products that can help them to achieve that. So that's why I'm so big on it. And it's ridiculous when I hear people talking about this as a scam, or like AAA is a scam, it doesn't exist, it's not real. How can you sit there and say that there is zero opportunity for you to help businesses adopt AI technology? One of the biggest trends right now, one of the biggest technological advancements, with so much money being made. You are seriously saying that there is no opportunity at all for you to make some money at doing it? I think that's completely ridiculous. And I kind of laugh when I see those kind of comments. Who are the people you looked up to in business when you were coming up in your own career? Yeah, I've had a number of sort of idols and people that I really looked up to throughout my journey. You have like the really far off ones. I had like Richard Branson. I've read his book probably 3 or 4 times, Losing My Virginity. It's a great book, and reading that really put a clear frame of what I could do as an entrepreneur and the kind of exciting life and world-changing things that you can do. For me, reading that book and hearing Richard's entire story was like, wow, if I could look back on my life and write a book on my life, I'd want it to sound a bit like that, or at least close to it. So he was always one of the top sort of idols and business role models that I aspired to be like, and not only in his ability as a businessman, but the things he's done outside of it and the sort of family he's built and things like this. I think he's definitely one of my top role models and idols in the business space. While having those sort of mega idols like Richard Branson off in the distance, I think for me, at least in my journey, it was important to have someone that was a little bit closer and seemed more attainable. Like obviously Richard Branson is a long way off, but for me, it was actually my business partner, who's currently my business partner, but was once my mentor and once a guy that I never even knew and I just stalked on Instagram. My business partner, Josh. For me, Josh was the one that I looked up to because I remember seeing an article in the newspaper about him in New Zealand saying this young guy making all this money and traveling around the world. And then I found his Instagram and I started watching all his Instagram highlights and things like this. And I'm like, man, this is the guy I have to be. So I really idolized and looked up to Josh. I even stuck him on my wall in Scotland. I'll put that picture up on the screen somewhere. This is before I even knew him or had like any kind of relationship with him. So he was sort of the guy that I looked to in the sort of near term, like this guy's done it, I can do it too. And ironically, at the time of filming this, we're actually in the same resort that I remember looking at his stories when I was like 18, 19, staring at his stories saying, wow, this looks so cool. He was staying at this exact same resort. And now, 3 or 4 years later, I'm here with him as a business partner, with all of my friends working for us with this amazing company we're building. It's like a full circle moment for me, and it's really kind of surreal that I'm here now doing the things that I've always dreamed of doing. And then finally, one more person that I've really looked up to and has been quite a business mentor for me would be Luca Netz. You may be familiar with him. He's now the CEO and killing it with Pudgy Penguins. What I really appreciate and learned from Luca was how he is very grounded and down to earth with his community and makes himself very accessible. And I think the way that he approaches entrepreneurship is something that's really lacking in the space. And I really like looking to him as a role model as to how I should be around my community and the kind of person that I can be, and sort of not necessarily being this aggressive, over-the-top entrepreneur, but being a sort of down-to-earth and grounded person that's approachable and that can actually be relatable to some people. What is your AAA Accelerator? So my AAA Accelerator is my paid community. It's on a subscription basis. Right now it's currently $59 a month, but it'll be going up to I think $97. But it's my community where I'm able to hire coaches and bring people in to sort of magnify my ability to teach and amplify it from just me to having a whole suite of coaches. And we do 3 workshops every week in there on everything you can imagine. So not only are you getting the 3 workshops, you also get access to all of the prior recordings. So we have things like coastline similarity tests, we have offer creation workshops, we have everything under the sun. We have, Alex Mozzie's coming in there, Instantly Founders coming in there to do a cold email workshops. The longer we go on, the more of these workshops are going to be saved and the more value you're going to be able to get as soon as you get into the accelerator. So I can honestly say with my hand on my heart that the education and the resources we're giving away in my accelerator is by far the #1 resource for not only AI automation agency, the model, but also just learning AI in general. We have like 5-star AI education going on in there, with my CTO from Morningside coming in and doing talks about different sort of technical aspects of AI and how it works, and some deep like theoretical and conceptual understanding of AI itself. If you're not just looking to build your own AI automation agency, but also just learn AI and get deeper and deeper into the space, then I can wholeheartedly say that you need to be getting into that accelerator in the next batch, which will be opening up very soon. So if you haven't already hopped on the waitlist, it's going to be available in the description. You can get on the waitlist there. I'm going to be giving away a few hundred spots. So if you want to be in there, you need to be quick, but we are going to be opening it up in the near future. Favorite vacation country or dream country to live? Yeah, I think it's important to distinguish between vacation countries and living. Well, when you live kind of like I do, and you're sort of nomadic to some degree, but I'm based out of Dubai for 5 or 6 months of the year, and the rest of the year I'm sort of traveling around to different places. We don't really get time for vacations that often. As you may have seen in my previous video, I was in Croatia for my sort of 1 week off for the year, and that was my vacation, but I was still working to some degree while I was on there. But my favorite spots for a vacation, strictly where I'm not doing anything, I'm trying not to work, definitely sort of Amalfi Coast in Italy. I love going there. Greek islands, you can't beat it. Croatia, more recently from going on that trip, I really liked it. And also the Caribbean. So I went to my first Caribbean island to do my marathon earlier this year. And that was a really, really amazing experience for me. And it's something I definitely want to check out more. So probably say the Caribbean islands, I want to check that out more as a vacation spot. And then sort of the regular European spots, Amalfi Coast, Croatia, Greece as well. So those are my favorite vacation spots. But when it comes to actually living, I really enjoy my time in Dubai. It's really focused. I have a good group of friends there. Being there for 5 or 6 months of the year is great. But when it comes to actually living in a place where I can lock in, I can do my work and really live there, south of Spain is great. I love Marbella, around the area. I've spent a lot of time there. Also like places like Thailand now and Bali. I think Bali is a great spot to be posted up at if you've got the right mix of people with you. And then also I enjoyed my time in Medellin in Colombia, being able to practice my Spanish a lot more. Just a completely different living experience to what I'm used to in Europe and Dubai and stuff like that. So those are probably my 3 favorite spots and vacation spots as well. AAA is a scam, lol. Yeah, I mean, these are the same people who said that e-com and dropshipping was a scam, that SMMA was a scam, that all these different things, because they're trends, they're a scam. Like if you look at e-commerce, where was the trend? Where was the fall off? Like it's still in one of the largest and most established industries in the world now. So if you were to get into e-com when it first started, you've now built a skill set in one of the largest and most profitable industries you could be in as a small entrepreneur, solo entrepreneur. So same thing with SMMA. You could say like, oh, it's just a trend, it's just a scam. It's like this, and this. But there's multi-hundred, like 9-figure marketing agencies that came out of the SMMA trend. So how in the hell are you saying that AAA and building on top of this brand new and exciting technology that's going to change our entire world is a scam? There's going to be 9-figure, 7-figure companies that come out of this AI revolution and companies that help facilitate this, AI solutions companies, things like this. These are going to come out of it, and you can either choose to call it a scam or you can choose to take part in it and get your slice of the pie while you have a chance. Like if you piss around too long, you're going to miss it, and you're going to be waiting for the next trend, and you're still going to be saying it's a scam. That kind of stuff does annoy me a little bit. And I mean, if you look at the biggest technological advancement in the next decade and you seriously can't make any money in it, then that's on you. That's a skill issue on you that you weren't able to do it. So if there's money to be made, it's definitely in an area like AI, using a model like the AI automation agency model. Why do you have a shaved head? Why not? Does it not look good? You don't like it? I quite like it. I mean, I've had every hairstyle under the sun. If you've checked out my Instagram, I've had shoulder length hair. I've had like this sort of TikTok looking guy haircut. I've had all of them. And for me, this is the lowest maintenance when I'm traveling. Barbers, it's really more practical than anything. I got sick of traveling around and barbers messing up my hair when I had sort of a longer top. And eventually I was just like, look, if you're a barber and you can stuff this up, then you're a pretty bad barber. So I figured if I reduce my hair requirements of the skill needed to cut my hair down to just a fade on the sides, then surely I can travel year round and have like a nice cut. And it's turned out to be true. I got a haircut from somewhere in Phuket the other day, and it turned out to be great. So it's more practical. It doesn't get hot in the summer wherever I am. I know it might not be the most appealing one, but for me, it's very, very low maintenance. It makes me look a bit older, and I don't know, I like it. It also has a little bit of a deeper meaning as well, in that I believe as a man, your hairstyle shouldn't matter. It's not a significant part. No one's gonna judge you as a man on how fancy your hairstyle looks. So for me, this is practical, it does the job, and it's not really like dressing me up. It's like making me look as sort of bad as possible so that my true qualities can shine through, really. My prowess in business, my charisma, all these different things is what's carrying me, not having a fancy hairstyle. So that's why I have a shaved head, and I don't know when I'll grow it out again, but for now it's good for me. Now, I'm actually in the process of putting together a My Story video, giving you like the full walkthrough of my entire life and my story and how I've gotten to where I am now. So if you want to keep in touch and keep in the loop on that, you make sure you're subscribed to the channel because that's going to be coming out in the near future. I'm running out of sun here, so I better wrap things up. But that's been my first YouTube Q&A, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've got a little bit of a deeper look into who I am and what makes me tick. I'd really love to connect with more of you on Instagram. So if you haven't already, hit down to the description. You can follow me or just search me at Liam Ottley. I'd love to just be a little bit more friendly with some of you guys over there as well. So if you've got any other questions that you want me to answer, feel free to drop them in the comment section below. And while you're down there, like the video and subscribe. You guys know how to do all of that. But that's all for the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.